This video is in reference to removing a power steering pump. Right up above, I'm underneath the car on the driver's side. Right up above, you can see the high pressure hose there, and there's a nut that's there. I'm trying to grab something here to point these things out. There's a nut. I'm trying to keep this thing steady. That's there that you have to take off. Underneath there's going to be that one there. I had to come underneath the car to remove it, because on top, this one here, on top, it was very difficult to get off, because first you have to remove this pulley here. I have a video on removing the pulley off of this. You're going to have to remove that first. And I tried loosening this from the top, and there's another one that's right there that I tried loosening from the top, but they were so difficult to get off. And there's I couldn't get my crowfoot around there, because there's a middle piece that clamps on to this high pressure hose, and also it bolts into this that I was using I guess they designed to hold this on. So there's a middle piece there that I had to I had to get a tool, and I had to cut that middle piece off of here first, and then I had to unclamp it from here, from this high pressure hose, in order to get a crowfoot around here. And because, like I said, you'd be able to do it from the top once you have this off, if it's not difficult. Yours isn't difficult to get off, but with mine it was very difficult to get off from the top. So once I clipped that piece, I came to the bottom, and then I was able to get a crowfoot around here, and I was able to loosen this. And then once I got this disconnected from the power steering pump, then I was able to put around this little nut here, trying to see if you can see it, then around this little bolt there, I was able to put a socket around there. Otherwise, because this is in the way, I couldn't put a socket around there, because what I was trying to do, I was trying to take the two bolts at the top off and this off, and then lift this up and then disconnect this. But since I couldn't take this off, I decided, well, I needed to have a socket around there, because a little wrench wasn't doing it. So I got once I came down here, I cut that metal piece off. I came down here, then I put a crowfoot around here. Then I unloosened it, and I continued to unloosen. Then I went on top. Once I got it loose from the bottom, I was able to break that with a breaker bar from the bottom. Then I went on top and got a small wrench and started loosening this. And once I got that loose, then I was able to take what was that? What was I saying? I was able to take a socket then and put around that little bolt, and therefore get that bolt off from the top. I was able to get it from the top once I was able to get that socket around there, by, like I said, first removing this. And that was my situation, because these two were difficult to get loose from the top. So if you have a problem loosening these, getting something around it, do like I did, cut that middle piece off that clamps onto this. Go to the bottom, get you some like little metal cutter, pliers or something, and cut it off that way. I used the Dremel tool that I've been having for about 4 years to cut it off. Okay, as you can see, this is where it's located. It's right here. You're going to be disconnecting these. There's two bolts right there, one here and one here. You're going to be disconnecting this, and the way you untighten it the rest of the way, like I said, is behind here. It's right underneath here, those two bolts that you have to that nut that's around the high pressure hose. Once you remove this, you'll be able to easily get to it and take a little wrench and untighten it, and the other little nut, you'll be able to untighten that way. But what I also did first, before lifting this out of here, because it's going to easily come, once you unloosen these, it's going to easily come through the top. It'll have no problem coming through the top. And I left this hose attached to it. I unclipped this first, this hose here. I unclipped that first, made sure that was loose, and then I just pulled the whole thing from the bottom. And like I said, in reference to this pulley here, I have a video on. I just got a tool from AutoZone, Advanced Auto Part, and took it off that way. A little rental tool, about $30. You can even buy your own, so you can always have it. That's what I need to do. And then I also have a video on installing it too, installing the pulley, because what I did first, some people might put the pulley on the power steering pump once it's on the car, but you're gonna probably have to have some kind of something to hold that on. But so what I did, I had no problem once I had the power steering pump on the car, and I had no problem with a tool putting it on back on this power steering pump. So it's not like I have to have the power steering pump off the car in order to put the pulley back on. But one thing that's important to do is to make sure it's not spinning when you're putting it back on. You want to have some kind of tool, maybe in one of those holes or something, to keep this pulley from spinning while you're putting it back on. It'll be difficult, so you might want to have some kind of tool that has some kind of torque to it, where you can get a lot of leverage. So I hope this video helps, explains on how to put the power steering pump, take it off, and just put it back on the car. So this is just an overview. I know with the sun is out like this, it's kind of blinding in a way. So this is an overview of where it's at when you go down here, so you can see where exactly is at, which pulley you're going to be dealing with, because you can see the tensioner right here and the power steering pump pulley being right here, right over this, right underneath this. As you can see, it's really the last one at the top. So all you have to do is think of it, the last pulley that's at the top of the 2001 Lincoln LS V6.